So with me and my kids, it's like once I try to be around them as much as I can for them to remember who I am, because I work so hard. So once I know that they know who I am and they learn how to speak to me directly, then that's when I start really enhancing that relationship.
I was told a hard head makes a soft bud. You wear your heart on your sleeve, it gets cut. You tell a woman you love her, she goes nuts. If things is going too smooth, go on and shake it up. I was told a hard head makes a soft bud. You wear your heart on your sleeve, it gets cut. You tell a woman you love her, she goes nuts. If things is going too smooth, go on and shake it up. When it comes to money, don't trust your moms. To keep it real, don't even trust your pops. Remain calm if you ever rushed by the cops. Need something to trust, only trust your Glock. Take your time, boys, never ever rush your shots.
Listen to the vibes.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Vibes. I'd like to welcome here Kimeyo, who's got a new album. What is it? Is it out now or is it coming out?
It's coming out December 31st, 2024, The Process.
Sweet. Well, we want to get to know you, so tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, my name is Kimeyo. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and I've been doing this hip-hop thing for the majority of my adult life. And when my kids decided to get involved in it, I was kind of hesitant about it. But, when your kids is kind of passionate about something, you don't want to discourage them. So I kind of told them, well, we're going to do a hands-on experience where you get to be record producers and I'll become, your instructor to teach you how to put out records. And I'll do it in that fashion. So this is what we came with, The Process.
Now, were you determined to keep going otherwise, or were the kids the motivating factor to keep going on?
Well, that's a two-part. Yes, I was determined to keep going. And my kids was the motivating factor because, when you chasing a dream, right? And specifically a dream in entertainment or music, like I was doing, a lot of neglection happens, so my kids didn't get a lot of my quality time. They got my time, but not my quality time. And I think I prioritized my quality time with my career. And because of that, I didn't want to let it go because I felt like if I stop doing this now, what do I got to show for all the time that I neglected them for? So I just kept going because it was either I make it happen and then I can walk away because I knew I accomplished the goal, or I walk away, don't accomplish no goal, and then I feel like, I let everybody down. So I just kept going because of that.
Well, when you got started, things were a lot different back then. How much, as far as the process of it all, has it changed?
Well, the process itself is still relatively the same. It's the same formula for putting out records. You got to create the song, then you got to write the song, then you got to clean the song up, and then you prepare for commercial release. And the steps to prepare it for commercial release is still the same. You still got to copyright it. You still got to register it with the PROs. You still got to make sure all the splits and all the information is accurate. You want to stay away from copyright infringement. So you don't want to use other people's music. So that aspect of it is the same. As far as the actual creative process and the means of how it gets circulated to the public, now that has changed drastically. There's no more there is physical copies, but there's no more brick and mortar stores for you to go in and find the physical copies to get the music. It's all online, and streaming is a thing. And then as far as, being able to just put out a record, do a press run, and come out and everybody anticipating the record and going to the store and purchasing the record and being a supportive fan, those days has been a little bit manipulated because now it's all online. It's all on social media. So you get a following, then you kind of consider yourself successful depending on how big your following is. Now that aspect of the business is kind of like, it has changed drastically. So what I'm staying consistent with is the quality of the production, the quality of the lyrics that I'm gonna put together to make these songs, and making sure I do the administrative steps the same as from my previous experience with the entertainment business.
But even if you have a huge following, it's still hard to really make money at it, right?
Yes, it is. But that's where the merch comes in. That's where you get to go on the road, do some tours. And if you get a big enough following, you can get some sponsors to come in and cover some of your expenses. But as far as, putting a record out and just assuming that you're going to have an infinite amount of capital, those days have pretty much been minimized.
Do you have a specific message in your music?
Really just, enjoy your life. Don't take advantage of the opportunities that you have in front of you in life. You know what I'm saying? Don't take nothing for granted. If you have a dream, don't let go of the dream. But if if you got a purpose, try your best to figure it out and live it. And if you are going to be an artist, you got to be accountable for your actions and the people that you're influencing. So I try to write songs to let people know, like, I'm responsible for Kimeyo. And since Kimeyo's chose to make this career path my duty to my fans, so I'm obligated to give you some information to help make things a little bit more less stressful for you than it might have been for me. So I'm gonna give you my life experiences, and hopefully, if there's some things in there that can benefit you, you'll utilize them. If there's some things that entertain you, fine, be entertained. But the most important part is I'm not going to waste your time while I'm writing these songs.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a whole lot about hip hop and rap, but some of the messaging that I've seen, a lot of gangster culture and stuff like that. Are you trying to keep your kids away from that sort of way?
Well, me myself, I personally avoided the gang life. I mean, it wasn't for me. It's like I I I have a saying. I never had the heart to be a gangster, but I always had the balls to be a businessman. So with that, with gangster, you really had to be ready for whatever elements was coming for you by your living experiences and your environments. And with me in business, it's like, what you're doing in business, so whatever obstacles come in business, you have the confidence to maneuver around that. Now, as far as my kids is concerned, I mean, we live in Los Angeles, California. The gang situation, the gang culture done became a part of traditional everyday American life for California. Now, will I do my best to try to keep them away from it? I do as much as I can. But when you go to school and everyone's influenced by it, and you don't know whose parents are involved, who parents isn't involved, who family members involved, who isn't involved, it's kind of hard to say you're just going to keep them 100% away from it. So what I try to do is just give my kids good counsel and try to stay engaged in their life, so that the things that'll be appealing or attractive to it, which is like usually abandonism or a neglection that causes them to want to pursue that lifestyle, I try to cover those bases so that element won't be so appealing to my sons.
Well, whenever I was in high school, the hair metal and all that got real popular. And when it got to be selling out, everybody had to have a ballad. It was all about, the parties and the girls and that kind of thing. And I think that was part of what killed the music. What would you consider selling out in hip hop?
Um, Trying to be something that you're not. Trying to live a life that you're not 100% committed to. And I think that a lot of artists, they want to make great records. They want to be accepted, but they really don't know how to be accepted by the masses. So they start to, emulate the trends that's getting that recognition. And when it becomes too much, it's hard to go back to trying to be the good person that you wanted to be prior to doing the music. And this is what I think has changed the integrity of hip hop music, because a lot of artists wasn't fully living up to the lifestyle. Now the artist that is living up to that lifestyle and committing these elements of negativity, that's what they was going to do regardless. They just happen to know how to make some words rhyme, and they had a couple of good friends to make the connections together, and they was able to do it. But as far as, the creative people that don't have that level of support or that camaraderie, and they're creating these records that they know they're not accustomed to that lifestyle, that's what's causing a lot of the unnecessary drama with urban music in particular.
Who would you consider to be in that category?
Um, Really, I couldn't put my finger on it, because I don't know a lot of people like that personally. The individuals that I do know that are making records, they are pretty much the characters that they portraying in the records. And the cats that I do know that with that lifestyle, they're so committed to the lifestyle, they wouldn't even want to make those kind of records. So when you talk about a lot of the artists that's out, I'm not in their day to day living environment. So I couldn't really tell you who would classify as this and who would classify as that. Now, what I will say is that from the era that we're in right now with social media, is that a lot of individuals are being exposed by peers of theirs because they portrayed to be one way, hung out with certain individuals. When it got to the point to where they didn't see eye to eye, one individual's outcome is aggressive and the other individual isn't aggressive. So when that starts happening, then you start seeing the transition from the image that you was portraying down to the reality of who you really are. And with that happening, that's what's causing a lot of this, negative information to get out, to have you question the integrity of the other person being discussed.
Whenever I got exposed to hip hop, that was like when was it Run DMC did the song with Aerosmith, and then later on, you've heard of Anthrax, right?
Yes.
And they did a song with, I believe it was Public Enemy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of my exposure. If there's someone out there that's not really been exposed to it, what would you tell them to get them to listen to your music?
Okay. Now it's funny that you picked Run DMC and Aerosmith and Anthrax and Public Enemy. The executive that I really, really admired was Walter Yetnikoff. I don't know if you're familiar with Walter Yetnikoff, but he was the head of CBS Records. He was behind a lot of rock bands, specifically Mick Jagger, and he was behind the Aerosmith and Run DMC record. He allowed that to be done because, at a label, the head of the record company can always veto an idea. So he allowed that record to be commercially distributed and exploited worldwide. So I commend Walter Yetnikoff on that. Now with exposing someone to hip hop, what I try to do, like you see me and you are going through this engagement in this podcast right here, I'm allowing you to meet Kimeyo. Right now, with you knowing who Kimeyo is, I happen to be a hip hop artist. So hopefully, from our engagement, I intrigued you enough to, if do nothing else, to listen to Kimeyo's music. Now, when you listen to my music, I'm hoping that when you hear the records, you can look at it from the perspective of, this is what hip hop is. This guy is talking about his real life, what he's experiencing. The beats is a little edgy, not so much instrumentation of what you're used to in rock music. However, I do have some catchy beats. I have some key instruments in there that kind of singles themselves out. But my vocabulary and the information that I'm giving you in the record will hopefully I'm doing it to the point to where you appreciate it. And that's how I would go about introducing myself to individuals that might not have been exposed to hip hop. Excuse me, sir. But it's like I would want you to meet me and see how Kimeyo is. And once you get a understanding of Kimeyo and you listen to my music, then I got you maybe open to listen to other people. And then what the beautiful part about that is that if I'm the person that introduces you to hip hop and you grade everybody off of me, then that means if they don't give you the same level of understanding and commitment and passion in the music, then you're going to judge that artist off of me. And I feel honored if I can play that role in someone's life that wasn't exposed to hip hop.
If you had a choice of a rock band to play with, if you were going to do a song like that, who would you pick?
Um, I'll probably say, man, they not living. He's not living no more. But Kurt Cobain, man, Nirvana. When he first hit, it was something about him and his music that was just like, wow, this dude is dope. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to rock out with Nirvana, especially the way he played the guitar and everything. Because I went to school for music business, and a lot of my classmates was in the rock. So that's how I got turned on to Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Ozzy Osbourne. Um, let me think of some other one. Aerosmith, already familiar with them, but I got turned on. 9 Inch Nails. I got turned on to these guys, and they told me, rock is pretty much the guitar licks and the drums. It's the guitar licks and the drums. If you got a great band, the guitar licks is going to be awesome and the drums is going to be there. But the bass is on pretty much all music. Drums is pretty much in all music. But that guitar riff, whoever knows what they're doing with that guitar, that's what make you like rock music. So with Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, man, they had some great riffs. You know what I'm saying? Some great rock riffs. And I would love to have worked with them. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting an old school rock musician by the name of Paul Mars Black. He was part of the original LA Guns band, you know, and me and him is cool. I have his number. I could talk to him. I would love to work with Paul Mars Black on some records where we collaborate together, and maybe that might can happen in the future because we are cool with each other. I go watch him when he does his acoustic sets, but that I would be open to any rock artist. But as far as me just going to work with them and trying to secure a real situation, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, they kind of like had the pulse. They was the closest thing that you can get to being pure rock without sounding like you're trying to be like hip hop, and I give it to them for that.
If someone wants to purchase your music, where can they go?
iTunes, Apple Music. I mean, that's Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, all the DSPs, any digital streaming platform that's out there. You can go to Kimeyo.com and listen, stream it all day long. But I to be completely transparent with you, I don't even look at it as me putting records out for you to purchase it. I'd rather you just find it where you can listen to it and appreciate it and continue to watch what I continue to keep doing. If you decide to purchase, I'm very appreciative of the support, but my main thing is I want you to listen to it. And like you took the time out to go listen to my music and you found something that you liked in that music, I feel like you purchased the whole catalog because of that alone. So that's really what that's my intentions, just to get you intrigued enough to want to go listen to my music. And the album that I'm putting out now, I think this is probably my best body of work, because my sons is the producers on here. And you gotta think that it's sentimental. And because of that bond and the respect and the confidence that I have for my sons, I think I really got busy with that ink pen and my delivery on putting the message across.
Are you going to have hard copies?
Um, I've been debating. I've been debating. I'm gonna see how the record does when I release it. Like if the first month, if I get enough of a response, like right now, my fan base probably like less than 300 people, right? If I grow to more than 300, let's just say I get to 320, I'm gonna have to go make some physical copies because that means somebody else liked the music more than just my peers. And I would autograph them and send them out, and hopefully people will purchase them, you know. But as far as me just trying to put out a physical copy to make some capital, that's not where my mind is, sir. I just really want people to like the music. And what would make me make those physical copies is that people was engaged, they liked the music, and I would want to have them have something to cherish sentimentally for that purpose. That's why I would present the physical hard copies.
Are you going to have a Bandcamp account?
Um, I don't know if I mean, I have to now that you done mentioned it to me. I'll make sure I get on that and give me a Bandcamp account.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably do that soon. But I'm on really all the DSPs. You could type my name in Google and it'll come up Kimeyo recording artist, and you'll be able to see pretty much everything I've done, including this podcast once you release it. So I'm very appreciative of the fact that I spent 30 years trying to chase something, and now I could just freely give it to you without any restrictions. So I'm appreciative of that.
Well, we're going to do what we can to help you out, man, because like I say, there was some stuff on there I liked, and I think you got some real talent.
Appreciate that, sir. Appreciate that. And it's Coyote.
You can call me Coyote, you can call me
Okay.
Kyle, just don't call me late for supper.
That's right. I got it. And where's that accent from, might I ask, though?
I'm from Texas,
Okay. Okay. What part of Texas? My
uh,
daughter lives in Texas.
just outside of Houston.
Okay. Okay. Texas, Texas. That's right. All right.
Yep,
All right,
born and
sir.
raised.
All right. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. All right. All right. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's a beautiful thing, sir.
Oh,
So,
do you have a YouTube?
yes, I do have a YouTube. It's Kimeyo Records. Everything is Kimeyo. I got a unique name, so I'm making use of it, sir. I know I put it out there. It's easy to search. It's not a lot of work to it, and it's easily trademarked. So it's like just type it in and go where you feel, you know.
Thank you so much for coming on my show, man. I really appreciate this time.
No problem, man. I appreciate you having me on your platform. I hope you have a positive Thanksgiving. Everything
You too.
goes great for you, and your podcast continues to grow. And just let everybody know, man, the process, December 31st, 2024 on Kimeyo Records, distributed by CD Baby.
And anytime you have something come out, let me know. I'm glad to have you back on.
No doubt, sir, and I appreciate it. And you have a wonderful, blessed day, sir.
You too. I also want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.